Welcome to gentle yoga. We're going to start with some cleansing breaths just to let go, clear out, be present. We're going to inhale into the belly, pull up anything we need to release, lean forward, exhale, big sigh. And do this as many times as you need to. When you're ready, press your sits bones down into your cushion or your mat, whatever you're sitting on. From the pressing down, lengthen up through the spine, roll shoulders back and down, neck is long, chin parallel to the floor. And we're going to turn all of our attention inward. And we're going to use our breath to do that. So you can close your eyes if you're comfortable and just turn all of your attention into your breath. We're watching the breath, listening to the breath. Notice where the breath begins, where it goes, where it ends. What happens when the inhale changes to the exhale. Watching with curiosity. We have a vast inner space to explore. We're just going to spend about 40 minutes in this space. With time, you may deepen the breath. It may get louder, longer, smoother. If you've been doing this for a while, you might hold at the top of some of those inhales. Just hold a little bit longer before you exhale. That's just going to help build up that inner focus, inner strength. Anything that is uncomfortable, feel free to let it go. This is your practice. It has to work for you. We're going to start to add some movement with the breath. First, stretching our neck and shoulders. So on the exhale, chin drops toward the chest. Send a nice big breath into the back of your neck. Inhale, roll up through each vertebra on your neck, lifting your chin slowly, noticing how it feels, not going so far that it puts pressure or pain on your neck. At the top of that inhale, draw the chin back and down as you exhale. So you're rolling through each vertebra. So it's inhale, lift, draw slightly back, exhale down. One more time. Coming back to center, side to side. The exhale takes your head over to one side. The inhale pulls it back to center. And then we go on our own. So you don't have to match my pace. Go with your breath, your pace. We're just trying to deeply coordinate our movement with our breath. And back to center. We're going to roll the shoulders up, back and down. Change direction. Let's bring fingertips to the tops of the shoulders. We're going to windmill the arms, in a little bit of a gentle twist in the back, through the waist. Change direction. And then back to center, hands on knees. We're going to start a small little circle right around the belly button there. And it starts out small and tight. And just tune in, notice how it feels. Stay focused on breath. And if it feels okay, you can make those circles bigger. You might lean out over your knees, lean back behind you, get your arms into it, sort of pushing your hands into your thighs. And then at some point, change direction. And notice how it feels on this side. Is movement smoother in one direction than the other? Maybe there's a little hitch somewhere in the circle. And we're not noticing to criticize ourselves, we're just noticing to be aware. And then we're coming back to center, sitting up tall. We're going to do a little seated cat-cow. On the exhale, pull the belly button toward the spine, rounding your back toward the wall behind you. On the inhale, chest lifts, back arches, and you're going on your own with your breath. Deep exhales, rounding. Inhale, chest open. Notice if one direction feels better for you. But do them both. And we're going to come to center and we're going to take the cushion away if you're sitting on a cushion. And we're going to come onto all fours. And we're going to do a rolling cat. So we're going to bring our hips toward our heels. Inhale, slide the chest along the mat toward your hand. Lift, round your back, hips to heels. So it's inhale, scoop forward. Exhale, a little wave back. So using your breath, going with the wave-like motion of your breath. Don't worry about what this looks like. We just want to experience this movement. You want to feel it in our bodies. Notice what effect it might have on our mind, emotions. And then come through center. We're going to shift to the side. Shift your weight to the right, dip down, come around to the left, round your back toward the center. So if you imagine you're inside a jar of peanut butter and you're scraping the edges of the jar with your body. And again, this may go smoothly, it may be a little rough. Just get into the motion, however it is in your body. And then at some point, change direction. And we're going to come on back to center. We're going to lift that right knee up about hip height. And we're going to draw some circles with our knee. And breathing. If wrists are giving you some trouble, you can make a fist or you can even come down onto your elbows. Change direction of those circles. And we'll put that leg down. Other side. So you're going to lift that left knee, hip height. Circle. Breathing, taking care of your wrists. And change direction. And come on back to the ground. Exhale into a child's pose. So child's pose can be knees together, belly on the thighs, hands back behind your feet. This is a very nurturing pose. You might want to have your arms out in front of you. Knees can be apart, belly between the thighs. So you're finding the child's pose that works best for you. Take a moment, breathe, let go, let the belly drop. Focus on your breath. If your mind has wandered, is trying to distract you, keep bringing it back to your breath. If you can, grab hold of your heels. Pull your heels toward your knees. Pull your forehead toward your knees, rounding your low back. Breathe into that space. And then slowly, gently come on up. We're going to stand on the knees. And we're going to do just a very gentle version of camel. So I'm going to hold my left hand to my low back. And I'm going to take my right arm out. I'm going to make a big circle with my shoulders. I'm going to follow my hand with my eyes and my head. And I'm going to make several slow circles here. So following my hand, feeling a little stretch in my back as I go. Maybe hearing some creaks. Notice how this feels on your shoulder. Feel free to make that movement smaller if you need to. You could just move your shoulder if this is too much. And then we're going to bring that right hand to the low back and do the same on the other side. So my left arm's going to start making those big giant circles. I'm looking back at my hand. And a stretch, a little twist, my shoulders opening. And then I'm going to bring that hand to my low back. I'm going to press my hands down into my low back and lift my chest straight up toward the ceiling. And I'm going to do a little tilt, tilting my heart toward the ceiling. Not doing anything with my head or neck. My head is staying here. It's just going along for the ride. Wherever my chest goes, my head's just going with it. So I'm keeping my neck comfortable. Just a little back bend. Come on back up. And again, lift the heart straight up. Tilt the heart toward the ceiling. You're finding your own place that feels really good in your body. Come back. If your spine is flexible, you might feel this nice wave-like move. If you're feeling a little more stiff today, just take it slow, take it easy. Don't worry about how it looks. Worry about how it feels and how it feels on the inside. Now let's come on back into a child's pose. Exhale. Your favorite version of child's pose. Every exhale, let go. Let go of something you're holding on to that is only standing in your way. And come up to all fours. Bring the right foot to the right hand. Curl those left toes under and come on up into a lunge. We're going to rock back and forth, toe to heel on this right foot. As I lift my toes, my hips go back. As I put them back on the floor, my hips go forward. So just back and forth, gently opening up the hamstrings, bending the knees, the feet, hips. And then we're going to stay in this lunge. If you need to, put that knee back on the floor. So it's up to you, knee on the floor or knee off the floor. And then see if you can straighten the right leg while keeping the foot on the ground. Lengthening through the chest. You can be up on your fingertips. You can have blocks under your hands. You can be on your fists. Lift the toes, coming into more of a runner's lunge, feeling that stretch move up the back of the leg. Breathe. Putting the foot on the floor, bring both hands inside that right foot. Go ahead and put the left knee down if it's not there already. And we're gonna start bringing our nose in the direction of the mat. So you can lean forward, you might be able to put your elbows on the floor, getting a nice stretch inner thigh here. Hang out and breathe wherever you are. So you can be up on your hands, you can be up on blocks, make it work for you. You can relax that left foot if you like. One more breath. And we're going to press our hands into the floor. Curl those toes under. Come through a downward dog. Take a little time just to play here. You might just shift your weight side to side. Bend and straighten your knees. And then eventually bring that left foot forward. So you can have, well, we're keeping our knee off the ground. We're going to rock back and forth, heel to toe. Hips are going back and forth. And then we're just waking up the left side. Hands are on blocks, fists, fingertips, palms down. And then we're going to try to set the whole foot on the floor and see if we can straighten the leg. We may or may not be able to do that. Breathe into your stretch wherever it is. And then lift the toes, send that stretch in the back of the legs. Comes down, bring the right knee down, hands to the inside of your foot. And then folding forward, it could be a little tiny bit, it could be a lot. It just depends on where your body is. Don't force anything. Never hurt yourself for the sake of the yoga pose. Breathe into this stretch, inner thigh, stretching the hips, front of the right hip. More breath. Press hands into the floor, come into both knees and make your way down to the belly. So this time we're gonna come all the way down, fingertips in line under the shoulders. We're gonna work on some cobra back bends. So I'm gonna rock my hips back and forth, just nestle the hips into the floor. Tops of my toes are on the floor, so toenails on the floor. Press the tops of your feet down into the floor so that your knees come slightly off the floor. The hip bones and pubic bone press down into the floor. So tops of feet, hip bones and pubic bone press down. The knees are slightly off the ground. Palms down on the floor. Press into the palms and energetically press back. So I'm pressing down and then back toward my hips with my palms. And I'm going to lengthen out from my heart, lift my heart off the floor, like I'm just peeling it off the floor, coming into some kind of a little back bend. Elbows reaching toward my hips. Exhale down. Take your time. Inhale, press tops of feet, hip bones, pubic bones, and palms into the floor. Peel the heart off the ground. It can be teeny tiny. It can be barely noticeable to the human eye. Or it could be a little more dramatic, wherever you are in your body. Exhale, release. Let's do a few more on your own. Just inhale, lifting. Exhale, releasing. Your own pace. Next time you come down, we're going to stay there. We're going to do a passive hip opener. One hand's on the floor, the other hand's on top of that hand, forehead on top of that hand. Bend your left knee knee. Bring in your knee in the direction of your shoulder. You want to find a place that's very comfortable and easy. You're not at all strained. This is a relaxing, passive hip opener. We're going to breathe. We're going to hold here. Focus on your breath so your mind doesn't wander all around. You're holding, gripping, tensing your muscles. Relax them, let them go, let them soften. Holding a little longer just to give the body time to release and relax. Go ahead and straighten that left leg, wiggle the hips side to side. Bring your right knee in the direction of your right shoulder. You're finding a place very comfortable on this side, might be a little different. And again, we're holding, breathing, trying to stay inside, focused on breath. Release any holding, gripping, tightness. Straighten the leg. We'll bend both knees. Windshield wipe the legs behind you. And you're going to take your time, come onto your backs. So you're going to find your way onto your back with your knees bent. And we're going to do a little abdominal strengthening. So if you want a strong back, we need to have strong abs. And we're going to do this safely. I'm going to bring my hands behind my head. My head is laying in my hands. And notice the space that exists between your chin and your chest right now. And we're not going to close that up. So as I do this exercise, I'm not going to pull my head toward my chest. I'm not bringing my chin toward my chest. I'm going to try to keep my head exactly where it is. And I'm going to do that by pulling my belly button strongly toward the spine, toward the floor. So on an exhale, belly button toward the spine. And you're going to see if you can lift your shoulder blades off the floor, just a teeny bit, or parts of them. Think about lifting your shoulders off the floor. Inhale, come back down. If the abs are strong, you're gonna have a little more lift, a little more movement. If not, it may not even be noticeable, but you're gonna feel your abs working nevertheless. So feet are on the floor, you're gonna exhale, lift by pulling belly button towards spine. Keep going on your own. So we're not pulling on our head, we're not pulling on our neck. All the action is just coming from pulling the belly toward the floor. If this is difficult for you, as we keep practicing over time, your abs will get stronger, it will be a little easier. If you're feeling a lot of strain in your neck, make it a small movement. It may be that you're not even getting any lift at all, you're just pulling the belly toward the floor. There's nothing to be achieved, there's no hurry. We're working with our bodies where they are right now. Next time that you come down to the floor, stay there. Hug your knees into the chest, rock gently side to side. So you're massaging your low back into the floor. You're gonna have hands on the knees and pull the knees away until your arms are straight. And we're gonna pull the knees open to the sides, push them back together and away from you. So we're making a big circle with the knees. We're moving our low back, our hips. Taking your time. Change direction. Next time knees come together, put the left foot on the floor. You can hold behind your right thigh and straighten the leg. So we're just gonna stretch this right hamstring, see what happens. If it's too tight, you can keep that knee bent and just pull it toward your chest. Think about lifting the sole of the foot toward the ceiling. And then if you're more flexible, you're just gonna pull the leg towards you little by little. You wanna feel it in the belly of the muscle, back of the hamstring. If it goes into the tendons at the rear end, back off. We're not trying to stretch those tendons or tear anything. We're just trying to stretch our hamstrings. So think of lengthening out from the thigh bone through the sole of your foot toward the ceiling. Breathe. If the body gives a little as we stay here, you can pull that leg a little closer towards you, get a little deeper stretch. You might need to bend the knee on occasion. If it's too much, let it go. And then we'll bend that knee and put that foot on the floor. Bring left knee into the chest. Hold on behind the thigh. We're gonna straighten the leg as well as we can. It may not straighten. It just depends on how tight hamstrings are. Lengthening from thigh bone through the sole of the foot toward the ceiling. Getting a nice stretch in the back of the leg, not back of the knee, not back by your rear end. Take your time, let the body relax and open with breath. You're gonna bend that left knee. Let this left leg cross over your right leg. And your foot's just casually hanging off to the side. Open your arms to a T, palms up. And with that right foot on the floor, let your left or legs drop over to the right side. And then press that back of your right hand into the floor and then press along your arm and down into your other shoulder. So you're trying to get both shoulders down. You can look to the left as the legs go to the right. You might feel pretty good stretch in that right glute, right hip. If it's too much, uncross the legs, back off. Breathe. Come back to center. Unwind the legs, left foot on the floor, right leg across left. So it's thigh on top of thigh, your right leg's just casually draping over the left. Legs are going down to the left side. You can turn to look to the right, trying to press both shoulders toward the floor. Breathe into that right glute, right hip. If it's too much, uncross the legs, just stack them. Letting go every exhale. Right, inhale, bring knees back to center, unwind legs, hug them into the chest one more time. And then you can come into savasana, coming flat onto your back. If that's stressful on your low back, bend your knees or put a cushion under your knees. Hands at your side, palms up. Open chest, open heart, nothing in your way. If you prefer to sit and meditate, feel free. On the exhale, big letting go sigh. Imagine your body falling heavily to the floor. Sinking down, letting the floor support you, hold you. Keep dropping into a sense of ease. You're letting go of controlling the breath. Body's breathing on its own. Imagine the mind sinking down heavy. The muscles, the organs, they all sink toward the floor. And you are light floating slightly above that. Lightness, airiness. No, not a worry. Allow yourself to rest in this easy space. I'll let you know when it's time to come out. Deep in. Hands back to your body. We begin moving fingers and toes, putting knees to chest if you're on the floor. Roll to one side. Spend a little bit of time there before you make your way up. Come up slowly. Open hands to the heart, taking a breath for the sound of Om. Om. So much. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.